Let's talk a little bit about today what happened on the Hill with the MilCon Appropriations bill. There was a provision in there that would prohibit the VA from adding any more names to the NICS list. Currently, there's about 250,000 names that have been added from the VA to that NICS list simply because they needed a fiduciary. Okay? There was language in that bill today, Section 261, that would prohibit the VA from adding any more names. The Biden administration came out yesterday, June 3rd, and said if that language comes to Joe Biden's desk as is, he will veto it. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, this is the first of 12 required annual appropriations bills that we've passed out of the House. It's MilConVA, Military Construction and Veterans Administration. And of course, it's funding things important to our national defense, to our military, and also to our veterans. And the Biden administration so desperately wants to strip away our Second Amendment rights, and particularly in this case for veterans, that the president is saying, I'm determined to veto this bill if it comes to my desk with this provision in it protecting the Second Amendment rights of our veterans. That just because if a veteran has some kind of a need or a desire to have someone help them, typically a spouse, with their finance or some other fiduciary capacity, they want to say, okay, then they should go on a registry where they could confiscate their firearm accordingly. That's how adamant and determined the Biden administration is to strip away and to take away and to diminish Second Amendment rights.
Now, wouldn't it make sense for Congress, if they're going to go to the point of we shouldn't be adding any more names to the NICS list through the VA, wouldn't it make sense for them to retroactively go back and remove those 250,000 names that have been unjustly added to that list already?
Absolutely. Do we want to trust this administration with those names, with that registry? Certainly not. We've seen their willingness to abuse their power, to weaponize the power of the federal government against its citizens, particularly against conservatives. We've already seen where this Department of Injustice has unconstitutionally surveilled, spied on U.S. citizens without a warrant, without their knowledge, without probable cause, and to that degree, going after those who are just simply exercising, again, their constitutionally protected Second Amendment right to purchase firearms or purchase ammunition, and the federal government weaponized against them to that effect. So certainly we ought to absolutely eliminate that registry altogether.